our for the USA market. And today we are going to talk about vehicle classification, recognition of make and model and color and vehicle type on the base of advanced server-based software NumberOk. Today I'm here. My name is Nina Osipova, and I'm head of partnership relations of FF Group. And today I'm together with my colleagues. Let me introduce them. It's Timothy Wilson, project manager of FF Group, and Sergey Datko. Sergey Datko is NumberOk product owner, and my colleagues is going to tell you about advantages of make and model and color recognition, about advantages of our product, server-based software NumberOk, and to share with you some use cases. And also to share with you information how to get the best result, 5 steps to success in make and model recognition. So let me start from a short introduction of FF Group. FF Group is a software vendor, and we are in this business, security business, for 16 years. And 11 years we are focused on license plate recognition. And we start from our server-based software NumberOk and developed it till now and updated right now also. And 6 years ago, we worked on the edge. We created application which can be used on camera directly, work on camera. You can see we are cooperate with such camera vendor as Hanwha, Axis, Mobotics, and cameras which are integrated to the open platform Azina. For such camera vendors, we have edge application for license plate recognition, make and model, color and vehicle type recognition, which can work directly on camera. Today we are going to talk about our server-based software NumberOk, which can recognize license plate and vehicle classification, which is fast and universal. It can work with any IP camera. And also we have a new development, FF Data Factory. It's a new plugin for working with big data, which can work with our edge application and NumberOk Lite as a sensor. And we are going to have a separate webinar in the future devoted to this FF Data Factory. About region. FF Group is focused on license plate recognition, and we like to have a global library for all region. And on the left side, you can see that we have already had license plate recognition and vehicle classification for all European Union countries, CIS, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, for all USA, 50 states, and Canada and Mexico in one product, in one library. For APEC region, for GCC region, and now we are working on development license plate recognition library for LATAM. And this year also we are going to add license plate recognition. Now I'd like to pass to Timothy, and he's going.
Hey, all right. Yeah, thanks, Nina. Hi, everybody. Glad you guys could make it. I'll go ahead and spend a few minutes going over some of the things that you can do with NumberOk, go into some case details, give you a little bit more information. And then after that, after I kind of give you guys the broad overview, I'm going to pass it off to Sergey Datko, and he's going to go into some more detail about how to use one of our products called the SMB part of the SMB product line, the small medium business product line. And he can go into some detail about how exactly that works in and out. And feel free, if you have any questions, to pass those on to Sergey through the course of this webinar, and he should be able to answer those pretty well for you. Okay, so why NumberOk? Well, it's got a lot of advantages. One, high quality recognition. You get 95% accuracy rate with it. And this is including cars that are traveling at speeds up to 150 miles per hour. So if the car is going 150 miles per hour and the camera captures the plate, it'll pick it up. We have what we call camera versatile system, which is that you can use it. Basically, it's agnostic on any system, as long as you've got the server, you can run the software. If you've got a camera that is set up for this, it'll work. And they have their own algorithm that they use with the software, which generates data for the make, the model, the color, the type of vehicle, and I'll go over a little bit more of that in just a minute. You also get worldwide license plate recognition territory. So like the license plate recognition technology, it's supported worldwide, this LPR territory, and you get fast installation. It's easy to set up, easy to use. There's no accessories like a dongle or USB or anything like that. And then finally, technically speaking, you can collect a lot of data with it. You get multiple channels, 36 channels per server. You can add it to a virtual machine just fine. And it picks up a lot of data. So it is pretty effective at dealing with that. And finally, we've got these partner programs. And toward the end of the presentation, I'll let you guys know about a special offer that if you sign up in May, that you might be interested in. Okay, so let's take a look at the next slide. See, I think we got a delay. I don't know if I can advance the slides. Nina, can you select the next slide? There we go. Okay. So software, NumberOk MMCR recognition. So let's talk a little bit more about what the software does. Well, like we said previously, it can recognize cars traveling at a speed up to 150 miles per hour. Also over 1,000 models and 1,000 makes. You get 7 classes and 11 colors. So all this data can be picked up by the camera as the car passes by. So you can see in this picture here, we get the make. It's an Audi. It's an S5. Picks it up. The color is purple. It's pretty dark purple. And obviously, you do get the license plate recognition as well. And all this data gets captured and, of course, sent to the database. And you can see across the bottom there the different colors, and we get the logos, the emblems of the actual car manufacturers. So you get a good, robust visual of the data that you pull in. Okay, so we can go to the next slide. All right. So, for example, and this is particularly useful in North America. We got a video here we're going to show you. You can see how now in Europe, generally it's the front that they use, but in North America, you get the front and the rear, because obviously in many states, you only have the rear view, and you can see in real time how the camera picks up the data. As the cars pass by, the camera goes into action, it picks up the data. You can even see superimposed on the screen some of the important data, the license plate picture, the number, the logos. And here you can also see basically the spreadsheet of all the data that it pulls. So you get the different columns, you've got the color, you've got the data of the license plate, you've got the photo, tells you what country it's from. You pull in the metadata associated with it, like which camera, what the location is. So you get all this really good, robust, sortable, workable information from just having this set up. Thanks. And I think that's probably enough there for people to see what that's like. All right. And we can move forward. See, take a look at the next one. As soon as we stop the video. And basically, so that's the system. That's NumberOk, and we've got a few different product lines that integrate different levels of the technology. So the first level is OK Lite. It's a model, make, color recognition, and it picks up the data, and that basically, picks up all that data we just showed you. But then we also have the NumberOk SMB, which has access control and parking modes, which can manage different things like access barriers to parking lots, or you have a work site, project site, and cars are coming and going from some of those places, and you want some control of those kinds of interactions. Then NumberOk SMB would work for that. And then the third level is NumberOk Enterprise, and that has a built-in traffic rule control and speed measurement. So if you're wanting to monitor lane violations, for example, if a car crosses a lane, or red light violations and things like that, then the enterprise MMCR is set up for that, and has some of those extra data. Okay, so next slide. All right, so now we're going to walk you through some of the use cases. So we see what kind of data NumberOk can pull in, and here are some good examples about how we can use it if different scenarios. So the first one, even a criminal one, just good to look at. You get alerts. So if there were, say, for example, a vehicle that was stolen and didn't have a license plate, and the only thing that was known, the only information was known, was the color and the make and the model, right? A potential, say a municipality could set up an alert, or a territory area could set up an alert on their system that says, look for this make, look for this model, look for this color. And if it gets that, even if it has a license plate on it, if it's not maybe a correct license plate that's been whitelisted, or it's been told to not have a license plate, any of those mismatches come up. They'll show up as alerts, and they can show up as you can have different settings to set it like as an email alert, or some other sort of notification, so that anytime these parameters show up in the data, then the alert gets sent out. And like we said before, you can manage a lot of data with this. So you get 1,000 groups and 1,000 listed cars. So that's like 1 million different variations you can have to search for these things. And you get, like I said, audio visual alerts. You can have up to 36 channels on one server. And you can cover, if you have a good resolution camera, you can cover up to 4 lanes at one time. So you can cover a large area, and you can pull in a large amount of data with just one camera, assuming that you have everything set up properly. Okay, and what's our next case? And here's how those video alerts will work. So before we get to our next case, we'll take a look at the video alerts. Here you can see if you have a database on the right, it scrolls through a list of cars that might be listed as stolen, for example. And when there's a match, the alert goes off. So you can create your list and then set the data up to match that list. And then if the camera picks it up, poof, you get the alert. And it works pretty quickly, pretty automatically, or I guess just automatically. Okay. Now, here's another example of how NumberOk can be utilized. Let's say you have there's a small municipality, and they need to control and manage traffic access. I know one of the small towns that I grew up in back in Alabama, where I grew up, they had one of those circle routes. So they didn't want the trucks, like it was a high traffic area for 18-wheelers. And so they had the circle route, the business route for the 18-wheelers, and they didn't want the, tractor trailer trucks driving to the center of the city. Well, one thing you can do with this system is recognize vehicle type. So you can set up a truck, and then if a truck passes through a certain zone and gets picked up by the camera, then you can set off an alert for that. And so the municipalities can keep track of and identify automatically violators of specific zones, like where they have like no heavy traffic zones, or even I'd say in some cases, I know that there are bridges that have those weight limits and things like that, and size limits, like vehicles with 4 axles or 8 axles, that kind of thing, large trucks. Again, you could set up alerts that would help manage the kinds of cars that flow through different zones. And you can see here the different classifications: car, bus, LCV, SUV, truck, van. So you've got a pretty good amount of detail where you can fix what type of vehicle you're wanting the alert for. And in this case, obviously, it would be like an 18-wheeler. Okay, next. All right. And then also double access control by vehicle. What this would be is, say you're managing a barrier into a parking lot, like at a work site or something like that, and you need security. You can check for mismatches in real time. So you have your whitelist for license plates for cars that are allowed to enter the facility. And so they drive up, the camera recognizes the plate, and it lifts the gate. Well, you can also set up this double access control where it can check and see if the car matches a make and model. So you have on the white list the make and the model, and you have the license plate. So if it checks the license plate and it's not the correct make and model, then you can get that alert, and you can set some rules for how to deal with the car or the vehicle that doesn't quite match what you're looking for. And so that way you get this extra ability to manage, your access zones in a way that makes it, a little more robust, little more meaningful. And we call this the double access control. Okay, so, and we can take a look at the video there and see how this works in real time. Well, I mean, how it worked at that real time, not now, obviously. It's not live. So here we have, see the gate, it's down, and here's an approaching vehicle. Looks like a nice economical Honda. The camera picks up the plate, the make and the model. Everything's green, it matches the list, and the gate should open and let the car through. And no problem. Okay, now here's a Toyota truck. Everything's okay. He goes through. Uh-oh, but now we've got this Toyota SUV. Looks like there's some mismatch, there's some sort of an issue here, and this alert gets created. And so now, even though they let them through, this car has been flagged. And so a flag has been created that this car has violated one of the rules for the list. Okay. And you see here the data that you of course can gather and sort through when you are trying to manage what to do with those violations. All right, so I guess we'll go to the next slide. All right, that's pretty cool. And here's another one. Here's another great one. So you got vehicle rear and front view, and this is again particularly important in North America. So you're able to set up the cameras and monitor traffic flow. So you can see from the front, from the rear, how heavy the traffic flow is. You get all, and again, it gives you all this data that you can use to determine, and we'll talk a little bit in another use case, how this data can be used in different settings. But managing traffic flow or identifying heavy traffic flow, and speed violators in traffic, and rule violators in traffic and things like that. You can use the vehicle rear and front view to both get people, who are coming to you and people who are going away. So you get this, very useful ability to, manage cars as they're driving through heavy traffic centers and things like that, or at least manage the, the data and collect the data that you need to say, collect violators and things, data on violators and things like that. Okay. I believe we do, but I think Sergey can handle that. I see a question that just popped up. This is one that I'm sure Sergey will be able to handle in a minute, but I want to say I believe that's the case. Okay, and so let's take a quick look at the dashboard. So you can collect all this data, and what are you going to do with it? Well, one of the great things about the NumberOk system is that we can generate these reports in a really easy to read graphical format. So if you need to calculate the number of vehicles passing through a certain point at a certain time of day, you can do that, and you can get the printout. You can get the well, you can get a printout here, but you can obviously get the the visual that shows you the graph, and so you can see what's the peak time of day of traffic, and you can then sort it by different parameters. So if you wanted to know when are the most trucks driving through this area at this time, or overnight, how much traffic do we get overnight versus traffic during the day, and you get this great looking visual readout that allows you to really get a good idea once you collect enough data of some of the trends that may be useful in managing your traffic flow. So being able to calculate vehicle count and all that's very important, but you can also, because again, you're getting make, model, color, type, you get all, and you got all this metadata, you got all this great data that allows you to really manage it, really get a good look at how the traffic flow is working, and you can really kind of detail it so you can see, okay, so Mondays, 2 p.m., super heavy traffic, that kind of thing. So you really get a lot of good visual data from this graphical format from this report. Oh, wow, that's cool. Okay. So Sergey's answering the questions in the chat, and that looks pretty good. So yeah, if you take a look here, we got a close-up look. You can see the number of vehicles, you can see the models, right, over a given period of time, how many BMWs, how many Audis. You can take a look at all this data, and again, you get that graphical chart, that graphical readout, so it tells you visually, what kind of information you might need, important information, depending on what your ultimate goal is. But that would be up to you, but the data would definitely be there. Okay. All right, and so for example, going from that, here we can take a look at our fifth use case, where let's say you have a parking lot for a shopping center, and you're managing traffic flow in and out of the parking lot. Well, now you're able to collect a lot of data on the kinds of customers that are coming into the lot, when the peak time is for shopping, what areas are being used more than others, and that can be used in a lot of ways. That data can be packaged and maybe resold to someone else. If you know certain car makers or car manufacturers who want to advertise maybe in that area, and you notice there are a lot of BMWs that come into the parking lot or something like that, well, that might be a good place for like a BMW ad or something like that. So you can find out, again, depending on how you want to use the data, you can probably find out a lot of good information in the right setting that can then be used in whatever ways help you in whatever your goals are. And in this case, if it's a shopping center, you've got a great opportunity in these lots to use that data in a meaningful way to help with working with other retailers and other sellers and things like that. So that's another good case. And then finally, I think we have one more use case next, which is just like we were saying before, good old traffic flow monitoring. So you can cover 4 lanes with one camera if you've got a good enough resolution camera, so you can really monitor and keep a good eye on what kinds of traffic you've got at what times, how heavy it is. You get a readout on not only the make and the model and the color, but the speed that the vehicle's traveling. So you get a lot of good data that helps you manage traffic flow and helps you recognize, oh, this is peak traffic congestion. So obviously, I mean, this is useful information for municipalities, for governments, for construction businesses, and the list would go on as far as people and companies that could benefit from being able to manage, being able to monitor and get really good detailed data about what kinds of traffic they're dealing with, and the level of traffic, and what times. And so this case obviously would just be that good generic example where being able to get that data is going to be very useful and very powerful for the right people who need to use it. Okay, and I think those are all of our cases that we've gone through. I hope I've been able to give you guys a good overview of what you can do with NumberOk, what it offers. And I just want to make sure to remind you guys that Sergey is going to take you through a more in-depth a few minute demonstration that's more in depth of using, I think, the SMB product, the small and medium business product, to show you how it works. And he can answer some of the technical questions that you might have. I think I saw a couple in the chat. So if you have some more technical questions, Sergey can definitely handle that. And for the end of it, we'll talk about a special offer that if you want to sign up for us for a service or whatever, we have a special offer for the month of May. So we can go through that too. But right now, I'll pass it off to Sergey and I'll let him do his demonstration.
Yeah, hello everybody. Once again, and according to Raymond questions about integration to with VMS systems, yeah, Raymond also asked about DW VMS. So honestly, this is OEM version of Phoenix Witness, and it should work well without any problems. So for this in NumberOk, you will just need to go to the settings, choose integration tab, then switch to VMS and select VMS generic event. Fill this data for connection to the VMS server. And just press add, and all the data will be sent also to your system. So it also works well. Okay, now I'm going to show you in general how exactly our NumberOk looks like. So we have several tabs with view, where you can see live view from the cameras with recognized license plates and vehicles as overlay on the camera image. And when you switch to results tab, here you could see all the recognized license plate and all the data about the vehicle. Also here you can see visual reaction for listed vehicles, some short demonstration of that listed vehicles. So you could configure some reaction for listed vehicles. It could be some pop-up window, sound notification. NumberOk also could send some email notification with information about the listed vehicles. Yeah, and in results tab, you could see all the date and time when this license plate was recognized, information about the vehicle, vehicle model, vehicle type, vehicle direction, additional technical data about channel, I mean video channel or video camera on which this license plate was recognized, recognition zone. So you could configure up to 4 recognition zones per each camera. So for example, if you have 5 megapixels camera and you could cover 4 lanes simultaneously on highway, you could set up 4 different recognition zones, and all results will be divided with this information. Also, you could get information about country and state. Also, as Nina mentioned previously, our library includes not only the USA, but also Canada and Mexico. So here you will get information about the country and the state. Let's go next and switch to car database. So here exactly you create all of these lists. In NumberOk, we call it groups with license plates. So first of all, you need to create group. If we are talking about SMB version, here in groups, you also configured some access level for this group. So for example, you could set up some simple access if access denied or allowed. Or you could configure some extended access and set up, for example, that for this group, I allow to enter my site only on working days, for example, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and etc. Also, you could enable option, for example, I want to allow to stay on the territory only for 8 hours. And also you could set up number of entries for specific group. So first of all, you create the groups and then you add the license plate to these groups. So additionally, user of NumberOk could fill additional data about the vehicle owner or vehicle user, add some additional description. So it's just like a small notepad for system operator here. And here in car database, we have this reaction module. For example, let's create some new reaction. You could name it as you want, add some description, and you have different conditions, or we can call it different rules for which you could create a reaction. For example, let's choose some simple one, recognition. So what does it mean? For all recognized license plate, I want to get these specific reactions. As I mentioned, we have you could configure 5 reactions. Some visual reaction, it means that some results will be highlighted with specific color. Also, you could choose to play some sound signal, switch relay. For example, you could also connect some input-output modules to the NumberOk, and you could set up as a reaction to switch some relay. As a reaction, you could choose to show some pop-up window and to send some screenshot. And here you have a different conditions which you could combine. For example, you want to create reaction which will work for specific groups. Then you choose specific group, wanted vehicles, or another case, I want to create a reaction for all vehicles which are out of our database, for all unknown vehicles. And additionally, I want to choose specific parameter, for example, for, I don't know, I'm interested in all red Mazda. So I choose, I want to enable this reaction for all red Mazda, which are not in my database. And then when NumberOk will recognize this vehicle, we will get this reaction. Guys, maybe you have some questions. If not, let's go further. Yeah, here in reports tab, you could generate different reports. So you have a lot of filters. For example, you could create any report for previous day, current week, and etc. Also, you could choose specific filters for vehicle brands, color, and vehicle type, and generate all the data which you need. Also, you could switch, all of this data could be exported to standard Microsoft Excel file, and this data available for you. Also, you could switch in the graphs mode, as Patrick already mentioned, and you could generate some dashboard with statistic about vehicles, make and models here. So here you will get all the data about vehicle brands, models, types, and etc. And yeah, I forgot to mention that the main case was today about the make and model recognition. So how to enable this option? You will just need to go to the settings, connections. So here in connections, you connect your IP cameras. Also, additional possibility that you could put to the NumberOk recorded video and play it inside the NumberOk, and NumberOk will recognize license plate. It could be useful, for example, for tests. If your customer will provide you some recorded video from his site, you could put it NumberOk and test if his already installed camera will fit recommendations for the NumberOk, and if license plate will be recognized well in the NumberOk. So it will be much easier to make some proof of concept here. And yeah, if we are talking about make and model recognition, so here just a small option, enable make and model recognition. You need to put a tick here, and NumberOk will start to recognize make and model. And yeah, make and model, this is an option. So, and so yeah, if you're asking about the demo or commercial version of NumberOk, you need to communicate with our sales guys, and need to mention that you need a version with make and model recognition. Guys, maybe you have some questions. If have, please ask me in chat. I will try to answer. Additionally, about make and model, not make and model, about SMB version. So additional possibility, as we was talking previously, that you could operate the barriers here. For this, you will need to connect some input-output device. Here we have some short list with already integrated modules, some ICP DAS, some ADAM modules, very popular and cheap Taiwanese input-output device. But if you didn't find a device which you need, you could use custom module. And what does it mean? Custom works for all input-output device which using Modbus protocol. So when you connect input-output device, connect, for example, your barrier to them, then you are able to go to the checkpoint mode. Let me turn off our notifications for reactions. Yeah. Let's go to the settings, to the checkpoint mode. And here you could set up the rules, how you want to manage your barrier. For example, you have some, yep.
Sorry for interruption, but we have one question from Justin. Is the software analyzing images or video?
Video. So we recognize license plate on the live stream.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, about checkpoint mode. So everything is simple. We try to make a lot of visualization here. So if you have checkpoint, you need to assign camera for entry, you need to assign camera for exit if you have. If you do not have, if you have only one camera, then all the vehicles will be listed as entered vehicles, for example. So 2 cameras is needed in cases when you need to get 100% verification that this vehicle is really entered, because you know that could be some situation when driver stop before the enter, then change his mind, go back, and some systems calculate that these vehicles already entered. So for avoid this situation, we recommend to use at least 2 cameras. So in the checkpoint, you set up just a camera for entry, for exit. Here you assign access. You have different options. For example, for the exit, you want to deny access to all vehicles, but for the entry, you want to provide automatic access to all authorized vehicles. It means that all the vehicles from our car database, from our groups, will be allowed to enter to the site. Additionally, in NumberOk mode, you could set up some parking features. In parking mode, NumberOk starts calculated free parking lots on your parking, and additionally provide some additional statistics here. Yeah, we was have additional questions about the localizations. How many languages is available in software? Guys, honestly, I don't remember, but seems we have more than 20 languages. So main of them English, Spanish, also available here. Even Portuguese, I should, yeah. Portuguese and even Chinese should be also included here. So all main popular languages are included in NumberOk. Guys, if you have additional questions and about NumberOk features, please ask.
We have one more question.
Yep.
So today's presentation was primarily regarding your software application as opposite to the edge application mentioned in the beginning of the webinar. Today presentation was devoted to our server-based software NumberOk. And if you are interested in to know more about our edge application, we'll be glad to invite you to such webinar. So we let you know about dates and time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so today we are talking only about our server-based solution NumberOk. Yeah, and additionally, what I want to show you today, if we are talking about make and model recognition, then you need to understand that 100% of success fork of license plate recognition system and make and model recognition system is how you will install and configure your camera. So I prepared some few slides just to mention what is really important for such kind of system. So our main I don't know, requirements for good recognition quality. So main parameter for our system is license plate width. So if you know, popular parameter is pixel per meter, ppm. Yeah, so if we are talking about pixels per meter, the license plate width should be 260 ppm. If you are talking about just a simple pixels, your license plate on the camera image should be more than 100 pixels. So such kind of size of the license plate allows us to recognize license plate and then vehicles make and model with accuracy more than 95%. So just a simple example. On the left side, I provide an example of very good images with proper license plate widths. And for example, on the right side, license plate is too small on the camera image, and you should not expect any good recognition quality if you are going to try to recognize license plate on such kind of image. The next step, it's about license plate tilt on the camera image. So yeah, the perfect situation when your license plate on the camera image is totally straight. Yeah, as an example on the left side, and on the right side I provide you an example with a license plate tilt which is more than 5 degrees. So you shouldn't expect a very good recognition quality here if you will leave your camera in such kind of position. So in this case, I want to mention to you that you need to adjust camera angle and license plate should be maximum straight on your camera images. The third simple step, it's all about focus adjusting. Very simple, but very often we forget to about this feature that you just need to provide adjust your focus setting, because for the recognition it's very important that the image should be clear, so in focus. Yeah, don't forget just to adjust your focus settings on the camera, and it will also improve recognition quality. The next, yep.
We have one more question. How to measure the existing pixel width on a stream to determine if it will meet your standards? Is there some kind of pixel measuring tool? It's from Raymond question.
Pixel measurement tool. Yeah. For example, here in NumberOk, in results tab, we provide technical data. So what this technical data really mean? For example, first number, this is 18 milliseconds for this black Honda. It means how many time we spent for the recognition of this license plate. Next parameter is show us a real license plate width. So for example, in these images, on this image, exactly this license plate had 115 pixels. So you could use this inbuilt feature in NumberOk, or next very simple method. For example, you could save screenshot directly from your camera. And then you could use, for example, I don't know, inbuilt Windows options. For example, you could open standard paint. For example, I have another one, but nevertheless. And here you could choose this feature to measure your license plate width on the camera image. And for example, for my screenshot here, the width of the license plate is 81 pixels. It's not enough. Yeah, honestly, we start to recognize license plate even if they are 60 pixels in width. Yeah, but if we are going to achieve a very good recognition quality, then we should pay attention to license plate size. If they are more than 130 pixels, then you should expect that recognition hit rate will be more than 95%. Yeah. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, Raymond said it's okay.
Let's go back to our 5 steps. Fourth step about camera mounting angles. Yeah, our general recommendation that camera installation angles should be less than 30 degrees by horizontal and by vertical installation. It's hard to understand, but that's why I provide some screenshots with demonstration. So for example, on the left side, you could see some perfect angles for vehicle make and model recognition. And on the right side, I think extremely bad camera installation angles. So for example, for that red van, we could see him almost from the side. Yeah, and it's not good for the vehicle recognition. Yeah, we announced that we recognized vehicles only from the front and rear side, but not from the side. Yeah, let's go next. And next important and I think final step, it's all about exposure settings. So for vehicle make and model recognition, every detail of the vehicle is important on the camera image. So all the lines of the hood, all headlights forms, everything is important for good recognition quality. But when you have overlighted camera image, all of these details are lost. And in this case, you shouldn't expect good recognition quality. So just additional examples on the left side. You should expect good recognition quality here. If you have a clear image, it's not overlighting, all the details are clearly visible. But on the right side, all the images are overexposed, a lot of light, all the details are lost, and it could be a lot of misreadings here. So yeah, do not forget to adjust exposure settings on your video cameras. And I think that's all from about our requirements for this recognition system. And if you have some additional questions, please ask. Also, I want to announce you that we have some additional technical webinars. If you want to know more about how recognition system work inside, how to properly choose video camera for license plate and vehicle model recognition, so please mail us and we will try to organize such kind of webinar and share our experience with you, because we have a lot of experience and we'll be very glad to share it with you. Seems we have some yep, we provide our email for contacts. Seems that's all from me. Timothy, will you add?
Yeah, I'll wrap us up. Thanks, Sergey. Okay. So that's our presentation. That's the overview and the details, and I hope you're able to ask the questions and get them answered that you were looking for. But anyway, we have a special offer. If you get the full featured demo till the end of May, you'll also get a 1-hour consultation from the FF Group team. And this consultation can include pretty much anything that you need to help get started, or any details that you have that you need to fix that are specific for your situation. So there's a form you can fill in for that. Also make sure if you're interested in being a partner, we've got a silver and gold level partner program. So please reach out to Nina. That's her email at the bottom. And if you want to work with us to help expand your network, talk to Nina about that, and she can help answer some of those questions. But like I said, I hope I was able to answer, give you this preview, answer some questions. Sergey was able to, and anyway, I think that's it. Just you guys, hope you enjoyed it, and have a great day.
Thank you very much for your participation. Thank you very much for your time. And we hope to see you at the next webinar about Edge application and about FF Data Factory. Thank you and goodbye.
Yeah, bye.